So we're here today talking to Abed from Moneypenny. Abed is the head of data and insights. Abed, thank you for inviting us along to talk to you. It's really good to be here. So I think I came across Moneypenny. I was introduced in the NatWest Accelerator Hub. There was a talk about data culture. About culture. And Claire introduced me to yourself, and I noted you've also written a blog about data culture. So I think probably it's a really good place for us to start to talk about data culture. So what is? There's a lot of talk at the moment around data culture, and it's a term that I've heard quite a bit recently. So what is data culture? Why do I need a data culture, and how can I create one?
That's a very, very good point. Actually, you are welcome. So welcome to Moneypenny. The thing is data culture it's the blog is my point of view. So I could be challenged on my point of view. However, what I saw in the past 20 years in data is the fact that people understand the real value itself of the data and how we can leverage more insight with the data. So the real data culture for me, in my point of view of data, is when people, the employees, understand that the data is not just their own data or their reports, how to have something in silo, and after that, most of the time you can hear sometimes some data friction and don't want to share the data and they want to keep for them, etc. What I used to say is that when people understand the real value of the data, and that's where the culture of the data changes. They understand that if I share my data, if I cross my data to other type of data, I can be more intelligent, I can bring more ideas. And when we create more ideas and we collaborate with the data, it creates a company with a better place in terms of data, and this is where we leverage more value and we bring more business to the company. So this is, for me, that's the real data culture, when employees understand that just with a set of data, we can be more and more intelligent.
So it's about bringing those functions together and getting
sharing,
that dialogue.
Exactly. Bringing everyone in the same place in terms of data and sharing data and cross it and continue to collaborate and say, oh look, I've got that. After that, people are bringing new ideas and we can leverage more ideas and we can getting more and more intelligent with the data.
Sure. So it's about bringing people on that journey as well.
Journey.
How do you handle those people who are sort of, this is my data? How do you break down those barriers? And
That's a very good question. So, every time when I have this kind of blockage, even with the data quality subject, what I try to do is to bring examples. So when some people are trying to protect the data and share it, I try to share them the fact that a very good example when we bring insight by crossing the data and say, look, we found that, with that, we changed probably the way we see the business. And after that, I say, oh, that's great. Or if I share my data, we can probably find something new and or even more exciting. So that's why the most of the time when we bring in a lot of values is when we probably run some hackathon in data. So we bring together and try to get every people in different business area and try to find an idea and collaborate on that. This is a very good example where we release a value of the data and bring a new idea and try to see the data could help us on that. Okay. Which is very, very exciting. So it is the same subject when people ask me about how you can start with data quality. It's a long time problem. We know that for a long time, but every time it's the same subject. Running a data quality project is costly. How we can show that to the board and say we will save some money to doing that. And every time how I do that, how I leverage the investment on this is to bring example. Look, if we fix that, we can fix this problem and it will generate this kind of value. So this is one example. We have many others coming behind.
So you'd recommend starting small with real tangible examples?
Exactly. Every time with data is for me it was every time the best way to do. Find an example that you believe that there will be a lot of value behind, and after that show this expand.
Sure. So make it real and demonstrate tangible value, and then that way you can, and also give something back to those people who are sort of maybe a little bit protective. Show them that you can give them more value and that they can do more with that data if they open it up and make it more available, accessible.
Yeah. But what I found here in Moneypenny is so great. So I didn't have any tension on that. So that's very helpful. But in the past, I know that could be an issue.
And I think that's going to be leading on to one of my next questions. Having a business that is focused on culture and focused on people, does that unlock the ability to kind of build that data culture? Because I guess if you're starting off with people who are more open-minded and maybe a bit more progressive, then I guess that's a good starting point.
That's a very good starting point. You're right. Here in Moneypenny, the culture is so right. So every time there is no problem to see people. People are smiling, and the culture of helping. If you go to someone and say, "Oh, I got a problem," say it will take time for you and help you. And this culture have a lot in data. When I got an issue on some data, some understanding, I go directly to the stakeholders who are responsible for this data. Could you explain me that? And they give me straight away the answer. And I didn't have any friction on the data, so everyone is happy to share the data, and more we can do for the stakeholders, more they are happy. This culture help a lot for the data culture.
Excellent. So I think in some of the bigger organisations, almost the end users, especially if they're in the C-suite, are much maybe not as accessible. So you're often having to go through the sort of middleman, and you don't necessarily always get to talk to the end users, and I guess that can hamper user adoption, can't it, in larger organisations?
Yeah, exactly.
Abed, it's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you.
Very insightful, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.